Welcome back to a very basic space program. We're in orbit with a craft you've not seen yet. This is our Venus lander rover craft. I launched it in between episodes, so let's see how it goes. So we're in orbit here with RP-1. Of course, it launched on a craft that you've not seen. I didn't want to show you many launches in particular because this one, of all the launches that we've got, this one actually was on a Javelin. I think it's a Javelin 5 or a Javelin 6. It's basically it's like 10-year-old tech. It's like our small version of the Proton. The upper stage is the only thing that's really interesting about it, and even that is, I believe, an adaptation of something we've had before. So you didn't see anything in it special. It's got a heat shield, wonderful, brilliant, and it's got one of our rovers but without seats because we're never going to need seats on Venus because I'm never sending crew down to the surface of Venus. So we're actually about a day ahead of the transfer window, but we've actually got a nice optimal sort of window. You'll notice that actually the burn is a 3,000, a 500, and a 24. This tank has a 4,900. Hopefully we can use some of this for capture or anything like that. We've got RL10 engines on, a little bit of RCS. We can do a lot with it. So let us get this thing all the way out there. We're going to get to the node, do the burn, and then move on. We are about at the node. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our usual one, which is remove all nodes, reset, ASAP, lowest LV. Can we create node now? What does that say? Nope, we're going to remove that. ASAP, create node. There we go. That's it. Beautiful. Love it. Right. Because, of course, it was zooming into that one. Let's execute the next node. So the RCS is going to fire. Luckily, we've got RCS top and bottom there. These nodes, these RCS ports are actually attached to this tank. So we may have a problem when we decouple the heat shield situation, but we will see. We will see how that goes. What is this decoupler? What are you? Oh, you're that. Oh, is that to get rid of the heat shield? Okay. I see. And where do I put my parachutes? I put my parachutes on the top. That's all right then. Right. We are going to be warping a little bit, of course. That affects our orbital stuff, so that's great fun. Love that. We all love that a bit. Now, will this thing get to an intercept with Venus? That's the question. That's what we want to know. We're aiming, I've got the periap set at 100 kilometers, which is actually in the atmosphere. I'd like it to be about 130, because at that point I can do a little bit of burning with these and then hopefully use the atmosphere to pull us in with this top section. I do not really want to capture into a tight orbit and go in because we don't have a feel for it. At least I don't think we do. So I'm going to run this forward. It's going to be 5 minutes of burning, and then I shall see you as we come out the other end. Right, we've had the swing round to say that we're leaving the sphere of influence of Earth, so any moment now we're going to have engines shut down, and it's not bad actually, is it? Let's have a look. Let's have a look what we're looking at. Will we actually have we have one already. Oh, that is nice. That is not bad actually, getting that close, considering what the problems we've had with the Mars situation. So we'll just see. I would really love it to come in tight. That would be just beautiful. Don't fire the engines. Yeah, you're firing the engines. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's put us on prograde. No, retrograde, because that's closer. Let's see if we can get this any closer. One of the problems with this craft is, and I realized it after launching it, is that we have, let me just see, there we go. We have no long-range communications, so we have to do this sort of now, in effect. There we go. I'm gonna do that. It's gonna be an awful lot of delta V, isn't it? Let's go back to the craft. Put a node in. You can see there, Javelin 5 was our launch vehicle. We're gonna put a node in here at 92 minutes. Do it. Put it there. Add maneuver there. Right. We're gonna go back out. I wish you could actually just without doing this. I mean, there is a way. There is a way. It's just as annoying to do though. And the problem we have is potentially this thing is going to change its orbit anyway. So, problems and stuff and things. Right. Let's see if I can get this a little bit closer. No, that's not going to do it. Right. Give me some time. I shall play around with this, see if we can get a closer approach. Right, I think that's about as good as I want it. It's an interesting one, actually, because I'm probably using more radial than I need to, if I'm entirely honest. I think we could probably, if I redid it, I could probably actually get it better. But we'll do it with this anyway. We've got the delta V. And then the problem is I actually want to check how much it's just to capture round. So there we go. How much is that costing us? 1,000. So we can afford to go capture potentially. So we could just skim the atmosphere if need be. So skimming the atmosphere at like 30 would be okay. Oh dear, that's just moved. Wow. That is sensitive, isn't it? Okay. That is sensitive. There we go. There. Right, let's warp to that and then see what we can do. Right, I'm just going to roll the craft over to the node. I may do this manually, actually, thinking about it. Because stuff and things. We could use the... It's a lot of actual to use on the RCS, thinking about it. Yeah, let's execute it. See what it comes up with. If it gets it anywhere near close, I can just hold it on the normal. Anyway, so it's not a big issue. Let's have a look. I'm going to fire the engines. Do that. Put me on prograde, actually. Right. There we go. Yeah, this is... Oh, this is better, actually. It's sort of equatorial. Now, how low do we want to go? Good question. How low is that? Too low. Can I do fine controls? Do we have... We do have fine controls on RCS. I didn't realize that. So turn that off, turn the RCS off. Right. There we... Wow, it's... Even with the RCS off, we've got a little bit of a wander on this. That's interesting. That, to me, it didn't used to do that. I wonder if it's something to do with the save. Anyway, so that's nice. I like that. I like that a lot. When do I want a maneuver? I would like a maneuver just there. So we're going to add a maneuver there because I can put that into my alarm clock, which is what I want to do. We're going to put the maneuver in so I don't have to jump back when it's leaving the sphere of influence. And then if it doesn't end up going in the right place, it's not going in the right place. Not my problem. We're going to add that. We're going to give it 1 minute before. There we go. So where's the Venus maneuver? Oh, have I already got? It's that one, isn't it? So I actually want... No, it's that. In 150 days. Oh, it's all the way down here. Wow, have we got... No. There it is. Okay. Right, so we've actually got quite a lot of stuff going on, haven't we? That's what it is. We've got a lot of... What's this? Earth Gateway. We've got that to do. Okay. Right, I'm going to launch the second one of these, and we'll get that underway as well. So here we are with the Vero 2 on the launch pad. It's just going to take off. It's a loud rocket, isn't it? And I'm gonna pull back a bit. Ooh, I'm going to pull back a lot. I'm going to pull back all the way back. So yeah, this is one of our really old rockets. Actually, it's one of our first sort of heavy lift. I would say first heavy lift. I think it's the one that we sent most of our early sort of discovery craft on. It's basically our version of the Proton. It uses a lot of the Proton engines. I think it's a little smaller, but it uses basically the Proton engines. And for us, it's actually been a bit of a workhorse, but we haven't used it recently. And we have a bit of a hole in our sort of mission plan for certain sized craft, and this just fitted this mission perfectly. I didn't have time to actually put together a big rocket and a big transfer stage and all this stuff, and we had the technology. We could have just sent one of our other ones with lots of stuff, but Venus has got an atmosphere, so the plan is we're going to use the atmosphere as much as we can. It might not work, we'll find out. The interesting thing about this one, of course, is because it's an old craft, it uses old tech. which means it took us very little time to build this, even with that little rover on the top, which is actually quite modern. The craft itself, the launch stage, was really quick to build, so that's part of the reason why we did it. That's why we've got two of these Vero rovers instead of just sending one, because I actually had the time to build them. So I'm going to get this into orbit, and then we can get on with it, getting to Venus and move on with something else, because I've had enough of launching rovers right now. Right, we're on to our final stage, and you can see, here we are, the craft in its full glory. So you've now seen we've had 2 stages go, and we are we're at a point where we've just got this upper stage. Now, the thing I actually realised is I should have actually increased the size of this tank, but I'm pretty sure we've used this for something else. I can't remember what it was used for, but we've stolen it from somewhere else. Because I basically built this without tooling anything. I think the only thing we had was a tank up here, and I think I stole that from somewhere else as well. I think this one here, yeah. So basically we didn't have to tool anything for this, I don't think. But it does mean that because of that, this has less fuel than it potentially could have, because this has got about 1,000 meters per second when it gets into orbit, if I remember rightly. You'll notice I've got it set for 250 by 250 just to use a bit of this up, but I don't want to go too high because we lose it through the O-berth effect, of course, don't we? So we're going to try and get this wherever we can. And again, you can see it does not have any sort of long-range antennas. This is requiring the communications around Venus, and I've just remembered that I can't remember how good it is. I've just remembered how I can't remember if you can't remember if they remember they can't remember if they remembering if they can't remember. Yeah, I don't know what the comms around Venus is like. I think in my head I was thinking about Mars, which has got quite a lot of comms stuff around there. So yeah, we'll get rid of that. And then, you know, we'll probably activate the RCS and everything as well would be a good idea, wouldn't it? And then maybe just give ourselves a little bit of thrust away. Right, let's set this for Venus, and then let's get it on its way. We have a burn, amazingly, this is interesting. Where we've launched, we have a burn in 7 minutes. That is not what I was expecting, such a quick burn point. So that means we really can just wait until we get to it. Or we could just execute the next node, which is what we're actually going to do. We've got, what is that? That's that. What is this? What is this here? It's in an orbit 52 kilometers below us. What is that? Why is it? It's not the station or something, is it? I do not see anything. What's that? That's Vero 2. That's me, is it? Yes. I'm obviously focused on Earth now. Interesting. Oh no, I'm focused on me. There's Earth Gateway, so it's not that. So there's something else in the orbit. There we are. Sky Eye, is it? It must be Sky Eye flying across us. The probe is behind us, falling into the atmosphere. We've got the Pathfinder 2 probe that needs to be deaded. I need to actually go around and get rid of some of the rubbish. It must be, or unless it's the Decurie stage. That's too far away. So it must be that we're actually looking at... Oh, what's that? That is it. It's the Pathfinder Saturn probe right underneath us. That is quite interesting, isn't it? I quite like that. I like the fact that we've got that bit of space rubbish building up. So that's there. So we should actually... It should be moving away from us. Right. Interesting, a bit of lighting there. I think that's because of interlacing or something like that. I must check it. I think I have it on half interlace, and I believe that you actually fix that by putting on full or something like that, or I can't remember what it is. There's a setting in visuals to fix that, and I have actually done it on the other series. If you're watching Kerbalish actually had a big problem like that because of just the way that it works, and so yeah, it was actually amplified. Right, anyway, I'm messing around here. Let's get on with our next node, put ourselves on the node, and let the timey-wimey warp ruin everything that's going to come out of it, because of course it will be off, but that's fine. We've got fuel. We'll do a bit of a change. There we go, into perfection. And of course this is a 4-minute burn, which is going to be really annoying. The sun comes up. If only we had solar panels. Oh, if only we had solar panels, it'd be beautiful, wouldn't it? Right, get this thing. We're going to go past the burn point because, of course, MechJeb knows better than Stock, because Stock is notoriously confused by this. There we go. Oh, we actually managed to do it without RCSing. That's interesting. Right, I'm going to get this thing out there, and then I shall be back after this burn. Right, we have about 20 seconds until the end of this burn, so at some point we should get the swinging round. There we go. We're out. We're leaving the sphere of influence of the Earth. There we go. We're no longer in orbital velocity range and all that sort of stuff. I would love to know. I'm assuming it just calculates that based on your your speed or your, the fact that you've got a patch conic saying it's going to go into another sphere of influence. We're going to stop that. We're going to stop that. We're going to kill that. We're going to put us off. We're going to put that on. Just stay where they are. Yeah, that's it. Right, let's have a look. This is on a different path to its sibling. Do we call it siblings? Sister? Why do we always call them sistercraft, actually? That's a good point. Ooh. Why is that showing up? I know, like that. Focus view. Have I actually got an intercept? Oh, I do. I do have an intercept. Okay. Right, let's see if we can use RCS for this one. So, not that way. Let's have a look. How close can we go? How close can we go? Not that close. Right, I shall put a maneuver in and we shall get this much closer. Let me do that now. In fact, you know what? Let's do a maneuver. Let's do the cheeky maneuver plan thing that I've done before. Get rid of this. Go to change apoapsis. Next probably create node. No, actually make it in after a fixed time. Let's make it 300 seconds. Let's make apoapsis 700 because that'll be easier. Create node. No, make periapsis. Make it 100 after fixed time 300 seconds. Create node. There we go. Do that, and then I can come over here, do this, come here, do the clever thing where we just delete that 0 and 0. There we go. And now I can just play around with this without having to jump back and all over the place. Right. Let's have a look. That is not going to work for me. I'm sorry, team. That's just not going to be happy. That's not good. What about a bit of this as well? No. Bit of that. Oh, that does actually help us. So we could just do this all the way down. We'll mark that. I think, how do I want this one approaching? How do we want you approaching? That's a good question. On the dark side would probably be a better idea. Although saying that the last one is actually coming on the dark side. And if I don't have comms with one, I don't mind. But if I don't have comms with two of them, that becomes problematic. Right. Do a little bit of that. And then just work this. I'll just do that. We could go over the top. I mean, that would be the logical approach for this, wouldn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I quite like that. Oh, look, we're getting another encounter by doing that. That's interesting. I want this one. We don't have a lot of delta V, do we, to play with. I want this one to be about there. That's good. Right, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. So let's just execute. We can get rid of the MechJeb window there. Execute the next node. Let's see what happens. It is 32 meters per second. So we will use the main engines. It's a pity, actually, it's not 3 of the engines. And I could just have the center one fire and save the other 2 for, arrival at Venus. There is 10 burns on the LR10s, which is why I chose them instead of our standard sort of engine that we use. I try to use LR10s if I need multiple restarts. So I've done that with some other stuff that I'm actually doing. You'll see that in the future, where I've actually swapped out our usual engine for a cluster of RL10s. LR10s? Gotta stop calling them that. RL10s, just because of the fact that it actually, I think it works out a bit better. Right, there we go, and... Whoa. No. Normal. Stop. Put me on the radial out, I think it was. That's where I want to be. Right, so what are you doing? Right, okay, that's how we're doing it, is it? We'll just do it like this. We'll just do this. With a bit of RCS. There we go. There we go. Just bring it in. And then a little bit of that. So what I'm actually doing is I'm just doing this by eye now. Using a bit of radial burn and then a little bit of prograde, retrograde. Just bring it down to about there is fine. Turn the RCS off. Right. How much to capture with this is the next question. I can't. You know what? This is the only problem with Venus. You can't see what's going on. Right. Let's see. That is going to be 1,100. We should have that. Once we're captured, we can then do a burn back here. Lower this. Sorted. Brilliant. Right. I'm happy with that. We'll put a marker in here because that's what we do, and then we'll add it to the alarm clock. Thank you. We're going to add that maneuver there. That's it done, which means it should show up. That's the departures. Where's there we are, Vero's there. So on the Javelin 5, I don't know if it's a Javelin 5, or I might have misnamed it. I'm not entirely sure. 5 or a 6, I think. Probably Javelin 6. Definitely not a 7, because that's a 75, isn't it? Right, there we go. Let's get back and see what's going on. Right, I have made a decision, which is, well, first of all, we're going to get rid of the Venus window. We're actually going to get rid of these two. I'm not going to check them because they have short-range communication. By the time they leave the system and I actually can do anything, the chances are that they will be too far away. So I'm actually just going to do it. I'm just going to send them out there. If they get to the sphere of influence of Venus, wonderful. If they don't, then we've not lost anything, because I don't believe, I think we've got an orbital science mission for Venus, but is it actually, have we actually got it marked down? Far side lunar landing, uncrewed, we've got a while for that. And we've got a Mars landing we've got to do. I do know, Vesta orbital science, there we are, Venus orbital science, we've got like 5 years for it, so we can always send something else. We'll know pretty quickly. We'll know within 150 days, don't we? So we're going to get rid of those. That's it. We do have the Muro 1 that I need to do something with, so we'll do that now. Interestingly, another Venus window. Didn't notice that. Interesting. We'll get rid of that. Which means the next set of missions technically could be the Jupiter ones, the Pilgrims and so forth. That's going to be in 50 days. We are well on target for that. We've been just pumping all the points into the construction recently instead of the research, because we now got the research up a bit. So that's going to be perfect, which then means we're going to roll on to Lunar Gateway, Lunar Pilgrim, and the Dog 6A, which you have not seen. So these three are all lunar based. In fact, we've got Lunar Outpost as well. So 4, and then the Losso is a lunar base. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lunar based missions, one after the other, coming up potentially. And then we have, let's have a look. We've got the Sky Eye, which is part built. Reusable egress there, which is something to look at. And then we just got a load of other stuff. So we have to start thinking about longer term mission planning, I think, at that point. We do need to think about Mars, and I think I want to send one of the gateway stations to Mars, I think is what we're going to do. But anyway, let's sort out Muro. So we are at Muro 1. Oh, sorry, Muro 1. Yeah, there's Muro 2. And you can see we've got just about signal. We're at 8%. Ooh. So I'm going to put a maneuver in here. We're going to go early. Yeah. We're going to put a maneuver in here, and we're going to see what we can do. I need to get rid of that other one. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Right. So for this one, we need to get going. So let's have a look. Where's Mars gone? There you are. Focus view. Right. We need to get this in close, is what I'm thinking. And I can't remember what engines we've got. We've got one engine, so we're going to have to RCS it, aren't we? I forgot about this. Is that the... Oh, it doesn't tell me. Right. So let's have a play with it. I think a bit of this. That's 61 and that's 69. That is an awful lot of delta V used up there. What about a bit of this? So let's re-zero this, because I don't want to use that. Right. That's 50. It's still tumbling. We have the delta V to... What's the craft again? I can't remember what this craft actually looks like. Is this where I've used a single stage? Yes. Okay. And then we've got that, and then we've got these engines as well. So this, actually, what's the delta V on this? Activate engine. 300. Okay, so we actually can afford to use it. We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to. Right. So let's see. I hate doing this. Let's see. Do that. Bit of that. What's that do for us? Does it okay? Nope, that's not good. Need to come back. Bit more. There we go. We are getting better. We're just working in. Actually, we could do this as RCS. If we do this well, I could do this with RCS. Yeah, this is RCSable. If I've got the RCS. Did we use it all? That's the problem. Right. Okay, we're getting close now. Which would allow us to save some of that for the capture burn, wouldn't it? I don't need to get a tight capture. I just need a capture. We can work on other stuff later. Right. Let's have a look. We could just skim the atmosphere a little bit, couldn't we? We could just I can't remember the Mars atmospheric height is the problem. That is close. What is a capture at that point going to cost me? Is it less than 2,000 is the question. I think this has been a bad flight, personally. 2,000, yeah, it is. Okay, so that is doable. How much is it to get it all the way down? We can actually take a big chunk out of that, can't we? So if I can do this with RCS, we could potentially get into a pretty tight orbit. Yeah, let's see if we can do RCS on this. So let me put me on the node, get the old RCS ready. It's in 6 hours, but let's do it anyway. Hello, node. There we go. All right, we're going to get this thing on the node. What RCS have we got left? Don't know if we've got anything apart from the stuff at the top, have we? Are these dead now? Those are dead. Okay. So we're using everything up here. Now that becomes problematic. So to be fair, this is all pressurized, so that's not a big issue. We can end up using this to do all of our ullage if need be, but it's just annoying. We're going to deactivate this. It's already deactivated. Okay, so if I do a Z, it should just fire it. There we go. All right, so we're just going to leave that. I'm going to leave this doing its thing. It's going off to one side, obviously. It needs to be on the node. Turn off the thrust. Let's get it on target. And we'll see how close we can get. One thing I'm noticing, the actual ability of this to do anything is horrendous. It is absolutely horrendous. It is overshooting like anything. So we're actually going to turn off the RCS. We're going to turn it back on. Wow. Because it's such a heavy lump, it's actually taking a lot of time to sort itself out. I wonder if we've got stuff sort of in the way, possibly, or it's counting the RCS that isn't working. Right, I think once we get on, we should be okay, unless the craft is really unbalanced. There we go, turning it on and there we go, we're just really bad at getting on the node. It's horrendous. So I'm gonna speedy this up, get this done, and we'll see just how close we can get using the RCS of the upper stage at least. So in something that is the most laborious task you can ever do, I'm just gonna try and right, we are getting closer to Mars. The problem is that yeah, the burn did not go as well. The thrust did not go as well as I would have hoped. Primarily because we're not get on the node. There we go. Because when I started the burn, you'll notice where the node is. We were unable to basically use the node because it was making us go further away. And I know that sometimes you have to go further away to come back and do the other thing, but yeah, it was a little annoying. I think partly because I'm going early. So I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to stick that onto there. I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring it in. Right. So there we go. I'm going to get rid of that. We're going to bring it in, and I think I want to bring it in about 150, 131. Is that atmosphere? Is that Mars atmosphere? Let's do there. That's fine. That's like Venusy sort of atmosphere. So turn off the RCS, and we'll leave that there. There we go. Done. Right, now that does mean it should have generated. Yeah, there we go. So Muro 1 arrives a lot sooner than Muro 2. Muro 2 is taking the nice, easy, slow route in. Muro 1 is definitely going fast. How much are we looking for capture? Let's have a look. I want to use up as much Delta V as possible. There we go, 2,000. Okay, so we've got 2,600 there, plus probably about 200 more. So about 2,800, which takes us down to there. That's not bad, actually. And then what we can do is we can go up to here, bring in our thing, and we'll just use the atmosphere to pull the rest out. And it should be okay. We do have, 2,000 meters per second to actually do stuff with, so that's not going to hopefully be a problem. We'll see. Well, something's going to happen. It's going to be interesting no matter what. Right. Onwards and upwards. And so from me, until next time, have a great one.